Hey everybody, this is a quick video on how to make refrigerated pickled onions and jalapenos. No muss, no fuss, no canning required. These will be good in your refrigerator for quite a while. And it's so super easy and quick. Let's just get this party started right now. This is 2 cups of water. And to that, we're going to add 2 cups of apple cider vinegar. You can also use white vinegar, or you can do 1 and 1, which guess what? I just ran out. Not quite 2 cups. So I'm going to finish it off with white. Because you can't go wrong with vinegar. So I had 1.5 cups of apple cider, and this is a 1/2 cup of white. Then, 1/3 of a cup of sugar. And finally, 1.5 teaspoons of kosher salt. There's the 1, there's the 1/2. We're going to stir this around. And once it's pretty much dissolved, I'm going to put it on the stove and bring it to a boil while I prep the veg. I have 2 jars right now that I'm going to put these in. Onions in one, jalapenos in the other. And I washed them really good and put them in the microwave to help sterilize them. I just put a couple inches of water in each of them and I ran it for 2 minutes. They're super hot, which is important. Alright. Let's put this on the stove and bring it to a boil, and then I'm going to chop up the veg. Now because I'm going to slice my onions really thin, I need to make sure my knife is really good and sharp. And this sharpener, if you recall, I did a product review on it. Still love it. It does magic. And we're sharp. So let's cut the ends off real quick. Now, I just learned something. Allegedly, this is true. I say allegedly because I've never done it before. So, root to stem. We're going to cut this baby on the root to stem part. Because allegedly, you'll cry less when you do it, and it damages less of the onion. Alright, so we're going to go super thin. These little onions I'm going to do here, they're so good, and they're pretty much good on absolutely, see how thin that is? Everything. They're going to stay crispy. They're great on burgers. They're great on dogs. They're great on steak. Super yum. So, you don't need to watch me do this anymore, do you? Onions are chopped. Now we're just going to shove them in this jar. I chose a wide-mouthed jar for this one because it is so much easier to get in there and get them out. Don't you agree? Feel free to just pack them in there tight too, because as they cook and settle on this with this hot boiling brine that we're going to put on there, they will shrink just a little bit. So look at that. This is a pint jar with a wide mouth. 1, I'd say medium red onion fit in there perfectly. Look at that. Okay, so now we're going to go off to do our jalapenos. So 2020 has been a crap year for the garden, but peppers, jalapenos specifically, seem to be doing really, really well. So you can see that these are starting to get a little wrinkly. That's just because they've been chopped for a while. They're still pretty crisp, even though they feel a little soft. Compare this one with all the ranks to the one I just cut just a minute ago to show you the difference. All of them are still good. And this time, I have my smarts on, and I am wearing gloves. So I'm going to cut up all of these and put them in their new home, a jar. And like I was saying, these refrigerator pickles, that's a word. As I was saying, these refrigerated pickled jalapenos and onions, they're going to last months in your refrigerator. You just can't go wrong. Why waste? As challenging of a garden year this was, we ain't wasting a thing. Now what are you going to do with pickled jalapenos? Well, anything. Another thing they're good on besides hamburgers and hot dogs, for that matter, is cream cheese. Have you ever put pickled jalapenos on cream cheese? They're great in tacos. They're great on pizza. You just can't go wrong with the pickled jalapeno. So, I'll get back to you once I have these chopped and loaded in my jar. So I just had a comment from one of my viewers over on the couch, and she said these pickled jalapenos are also very, very good when you chop them up, mix them with a jam or a jelly, and then put them on cream cheese and crackers, and she's right, they're awesome. Now, someone asked me the other day, how come you throw this away? Well, you see the stem? This will not pickle. In fact, it will rot and turn your whole batch into a big fat rotten mess. Same thing goes with cucumbers. When you're making pickles, you have to get rid of the stem end and the blossom end. Now with jalapenos, the blossom end you don't. But however, you see that blossom end right there? There is so much heat, tightly compacted. I mean, look at it. That just reeks of capsicum. So make sure you cut that small and really put it in, whatever I'm trying to say. Cut it really small and then slice it in half. Both jars are ready to roll. I don't need these gloves anymore. My brine is coming to a nice boil. Let's do this. Check this out. No canning required. We're just going to cover them up. Let's go on this side. Woo. Just slowly pour it in there. You don't want to make a big fat hairy mess and have to clean it up. Now you know with canning you got to worry about headspace. With this, not so much. You don't have to worry about it at all. Why? That's easy. The simple answer is we're not going to apply any pressure or heat to this. I'm still going to mix it around just because we're canning, and I like to get in the habit of doing that for air bubbles, because air bubbles can trap bacteria, and that's not what we're about here at Jimmy Dick's Kitchens. Not at all. Plus, it'll free up space for more brine to get down in there. When those air bubbles come out, it creates a void. And now I have room for more brine. Now here's the best part. We're done. The only thing left to do now is let these cool completely. Put a lid on them. Throw them in the refrigerator. And they're going to be done in no time. In about 3 days, they're pickled. Actually, by tomorrow, they're going to be pickled and ready to eat. I'll show you what it looks like when they're cool. Now, aren't those pretty? How about a thumbs up if you think that looks good? Have a wonderful day, peeps. Have a good one.